we've been using only the essential oils for all of our animals for the last 4 or 5 years, including ducks, chickens, turkeys, sheep, like everything, right? And so I've had great success, and I'm really passionate about it, and I've been trying to follow that excitement, and so I've started to reach out to different places to host, oils and animal husbandry classes, stuff like that. And that's been going really well, and it's generated a lot of interest. And it's generated a lot of interest from people who have said no to the starter kit already, but are interested in it from this angle. You know what I mean?
We're all nodding our heads, Lisa. I don't know if you can see us.
I can't see you. Yes. I couldn't see you. So to come at it from a different angle, so maybe the same people that have said no to the starter kit for themselves might say yes for their animals, because people tend to take better care of their pets than they do themselves when it comes to health. And so that's one thing. But the other is, thanks to your inspiration, guys, as a Crossline group, I put it out there to our entire upline and downline that I would love to get a sharing group together, cross-line and downline, to collaborate on holding classes together. So like host an online class, and we already started a separate Facebook group for people who want to collaborate from cross-line and downline, so that like on a Thursday night, we would all, whoever's interested, will hop on the call and we'll do like an Essential Ed 101 or whatever. And then everybody invites whoever, and then whoever signs up it'll go to the person who invited them.
That's
and that
awesome.
way we get to pool our resources and our expertise. So I would teach the essential oils in dogs class, and then somebody else who's really good with chemical-free home or oils in the bedroom or oils of the Bible. And so we would have tons of classes. So not only were we holding classes, but we're learning from each other too. And I just love the ideas of coming together. And if I have one idea and you have one idea and we share it, then we both have 2 ideas. So you know what I mean? So I just think it's beneficial, and I love the camaraderie that goes along with it. So I have almost 30 people already that have joined that want to be involved with that. So that's really exciting.
That's awesome. And Lisa, what's your Facebook page? So if someone's on the call and wants to be a part of it.
It's called Essential Ed Crossline Collaboration, I think.
All right.
I just started it 2 days ago, and I've already got 30 people on the call.
That's a great name too. I love it.
Yeah. So somebody just popped up. Essential Ed Collaborative Crossline something. Crossline class maybe. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, well, we can attest as your gold and platinum leaders that there's nothing better than cross education and cross-line collaboration. We have just found it to be a wonderful way for us to not only create great friendships, but also to have our businesses grow and to be able to help you all grow. So, awesome, and good luck, and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you with that.
I will. And I would love to pick the brains of some people who've already done online classes. I haven't, but I think, again, that's another thing about the benefit of the collaboration is people in the group that have already done those and can say, well, 2-minute Vimeo clips that you post are better than a Facebook Live or vice versa and stuff. So yeah, it's super exciting. And then, it generates more energy and enthusiasm for someone to pop online to a class and it's already filled with 40 people, rather than they hop on a class and there's 2 people in the class. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's more enthusiasm and excitement if you feel like you're part of a huge group that's listening to the same education you are.
Very true.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, Lisa. So I think we'll go ahead and kick things off for tonight, although we've already jumped into a great conversation here. So here we are at the start of week 4. We're hoping that you have your event scheduled and you've got some people invited. And this week, it's going to be about some suggestions for you on following up to confirm that people are going to be there. And we'll touch a little bit on compliance. Susan and Melissa, that's not the whole list. What else are we going to talk about tonight?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about compliance. We'll talk a little bit about actually hosting the event, some do's, some don'ts, some things that we've learned along the way that would be a great thing, and some tips to get people there. So, and then
Awesome.
We'll look to open up and have anybody else give us a hand with, some of the things that they know to be true. So.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So the homework for this week will be posted soon. We're going to be looking at pages 80 to 109. But please, read the book at your own pace. If something got missed in our assignments, just read the whole darn book, please. Work on it, write in it. It's your book. But for this week, we're focusing on pages 80 to 109. So let's go ahead then and touch on some of those tips and tricks on confirming people are coming to your event. Some of these are things that I learned from other sources, and I guess Vicki and Chris don't really touch on this. They do encourage you to follow up. There's that great schedule in there about how to lay things out by week before your event. But they do encourage you to follow up right before your event. Give people a call back, and be mindful of your language as you make that phone call. Don't say, "Oh gosh, I hope you're still coming." Something that I found works really well is just saying, "I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Do you need directions?" And some of the tips and tricks on this: if you have someone that you think may be a little on the edge and may not show up, sometimes they say they're coming and then they don't. How about you ask that person to bring along a bag of fruit? Would you bring us some apples from the store for our event? Or Debbie needs a ride. Would you mind picking her up on the way over? So that way you've engaged them in another way so that they're being helpful to you. And now they have a task that they need to complete, which will get them there. Any other tips and suggestions about that following up? And yes, you will have people that call you at the last minute and say something has come up. And that's life, and we have to not be offended by that. But Susan or Melissa, other thoughts on those follow-up calls right before the event?
Yeah, I think Susan go before me, because mine might be a little bit off subject. So you go first.
Okay, well, I think one of the most important things is that if you've done your invitation 3 weeks before and you have not kept in touch with your folks until the week of, you need to make sure that you do it early enough in the week and then reconfirm again just before the event, even with just a quick text that says, "Hey, just another reminder." Because people, we know that our setting up a 101 or whatever it is one of the most important things for us. And not that it's not important to people that are coming, but life is very busy, and they will easily get distracted, or something will come up and they'll end up having two things. So you want to make sure that you've made the invite, you followed up that they said they're coming, but that you don't let it go a long stretch before touching base with them again. Even if it's just a quick email, a quick message. So excited to have you come. I've got everything all figured out. I'm going to set it up. I can't wait to introduce you all. And then follow up with that phone call or that text that says, "Hey, are you coming?" And I would also in that text say to people, "Listen, please let me know you got this text. I just want to make sure so I don't drive you crazy. You confirm that you're coming." Because if you don't look for that touch back, they can say, "Oh, did you text me? I didn't know that." Where if you ask for them to answer you, "Hey, just let me know you got this, so I know you're all set for Saturday night. Can't wait to see you. It is going to be so much fun. And oh, by the way, could you bring a bag of chips?" So, but again, don't let it go. If you can create an event of some type online on Facebook where people can get little messages from you about some of the things you might talk about, that's great. If you can't, just remember, don't let there be crickets until the day before. Because if you let there be crickets till the day before, people will not remember your event.
Agreed. That's why that schedule is amazing. That's in the book of following up. I wanted to mention value. I know that it's a little bit off subject, but I feel like when I'm inviting and when I'm following up and when I'm planning a class, that's in the forefront of my mind with everything that I do, from a Facebook post to to everything. So like, for example, if you're really excited about Thieves or Stress Away and you decide to put a Facebook post up, oh my gosh, look at Stress Away is on sale for 10% off. Nobody cares because they don't know what it does. They don't know, they're not in love with it like you. And so if you start thinking that way of like, why would this be of value to them? Like, so if you're posting and most of your friends are young moms, hey, this is on sale for 10% off. And, it might be really helpful after your kid, helping your kids wind down after they get home from school or something like that. What's the value for them? What are they going to find in it? So from a Facebook post to how you're inviting them, to how you're following up, to what they're going to get out of class, like, hey, in this class, we are going to experience, these oils and you're going to learn about X, Y, and Z. Make it applicable to them and their needs. And just like Lisa said earlier, the people that said no to the starter kit for them said yes for their pets because they valued their pets on that level. So find out, what the most important needs are so that you can meet them. And with 500 some products, you can meet some need somewhere. So I just really wanted to share that kind of perspective as we move through the inviting, the following up process and getting energy up around what you're doing, because you're excited about it, but why should somebody else be excited about it?
That is awesome, Melissa. I love that. I actually just wrote a reminder to myself about that. I think that's so important. Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about prepping for your event, some of the do's and don'ts that we've learned from personal experience. I don't know, Susan, would you like to get us started on that?
Yeah, that's my biggest do not do is do not serve alcohol. You want to see your workshop go to hell in a handbasket. You introduce oil, especially on a Friday night after a long week. You will lose everybody in the room. So if you're going to have alcohol, it needs to come after everything is all done. And you need to work with your hostess on that, because they're like, oh, we're going to serve cocktails and we're going to have snacks. And you want to make sure you say, you know what? I'm all for snacks, but can we not introduce the cocktails until after? And really, when you're setting up something with a hostess, you want to set that up in advance, because many times girlfriends get together to have those, great wind down alcoholic beverages at the end of the week, and you will lose your people very quickly. It degrades, and then you can't listen to what you're doing. So alcohol is definitely one of the things you want to keep off the list until very.
I will second that, because I didn't realize how these home parties went. And so one of the first ones I did, I guess people were used to going to home parties from a different kind of, find something else, and they came in with this big bucket of margarita mix. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Like, it's normal for when you're going to a home party. So I just said, let's have that afterwards. I'd like, but we're going to wait, because I want you to notice how you're feeling from the oils. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm unmuted. Thank you. I wanted you to notice how you're feeling from the oils. You're not going to know if it's the oils or the wine affecting you. So, so that's what I usually say, because, and then I love, while people are getting ready and like they're all coming in, I do love having oil infused water, because people start having an experience before we even start. And I'm like, hey, did you notice that we were drinking these oils? Like, you can't do that to perfume oils. So, and it's very inexpensive to add a drop of lemon or grapefruit or sleek. And I give people a choice, and I'm like, oil infused cocktails. And they're like, well, maybe I don't say cocktails, but oil infused beverages, but because they're expecting something else, but they're like, oh, so let's see. What else did we have on our little list?
Yeah, another tip, when you're introducing essential oils, there are people that do come from a frame of, I don't think they're going to work, or they may have doubt in their mind. One of the things that we always try to do when we begin a workshop and we start the whole session, is we always try to start with peppermint, right? So we always have everybody, you know, put a little peppermint on and breathe, because it gives us the opportunity to show right away that not only are they effective, but they're quick. So, you know, the things that we want to really get across about essential oils is, number one, how effective they are and how quick they can give you, you know, some type of an emotional or physical response. And by doing peppermint first before you even do anything else, people are already invested, because number one, they've already smelt it. They've already had their, you know, their mind open, their mind is brighter. So it's an immediate reaction. So it sets up you already for success, because if you're saying, well, you know, they're going to really, you know, support you here, support you there. No. Remember that peppermint. Remember how quick and easy this went. So getting that out there before you even do anything else, let's just try a little peppermint, and then talking about how fast, effective it is. It really is very helpful.
I start with peppermint too. I know in the script they start with frankincense, but frankincense is very expensive. When I started out with my kit with my little 5 milliliter bottles, there was no way I was going to give 1 drop of frankincense to everybody there. It wasn't happening. Peppermint, yes.
I actually start with the waterless hand purifier, because most people have had an experience with something that they put on their hands to purify their hands. So by that, you know, that way I'm using a lifestyle product right from the beginning. So you're going to find what works best for you when you're sharing. And I think that's probably the most important thing about all of this. There's a wonderful script in the book. Use it, but make it your own. The other thing I'll just share a couple of things that I've discovered over the years. If you have pets or small pets or kiddos, consider having them in a different space than where you're having your get together. They will be a distraction. You know, we have a dog that's very friendly, loves to jump on people, and most people are okay with that. Some people are not, but she's still a distraction, you know, because she's moving around from person to person. So if you can, find a way for them to be under someone else's care during your event. And something, I was just talking with another gold leader yesterday about this. She still, even as a gold leader who you know, has got a pretty big organization going on there, she still has this fear of having people in her home when her home is less than perfectly clean. All right, let it go. We live in our homes. Things happen. Yes, I encourage you to have it be tidy, be picked up, but please don't worry about every little mote of dust and you know, little fuzzball, because then, you know, you're setting up an unrealistic expectation for others as well. And it becomes this huge standard that they feel that they can't meet if your house looks like something out of Better Homes and Gardens when they walk in. So it's okay if, you know, there are some dishes in the sink. It's okay if your family is eating dinner in the other room. People start to understand how much this means to you if they see that commitment. And so I encourage you, if you have things around that your house is not perfect and therefore you cannot have people over, it's time to let that go. Let it go.
Yeah. Go ahead, Melissa.
Oh, I was just going to follow up with, is anybody concerned about sampling like the oils? Because I was, like, when I first got my kit and sharing. So I asked people, like, I asked my upline, I'm like, do I have to give a drop of every single oil to every single person? And they're like, no, when so-and-so started out, she just had the oils out and she never sampled anything. They never even smelled them. And I don't know who it was, but it was some Royal Crown Diamond. I'm like, okay. So what I decided to do and what she encouraged me to do was sample the peppermint, which I do at every class. And sometimes that's all I sample. And then very often I'll get one person from the class and use them as, I'll say, all right, who would love some, who maybe just worked out, here's me with the compliance, and, you know, would love some soothing for their muscles, some, you know, muscular support. And so I'll pick one person and I'll let them apply. I like putting the drop on their hands. Number one, I show in that book, they talk about how to tell people not to grab a bottle and go like this, but how to let the drop come out. That is so important because people are going to do that and you're going to be like, ugh. So showing people how to give the drop, but I like letting them apply it. As somebody that did body work for years and years, I think somebody taking a drop of oil, putting it on themselves is empowering. like they're taking care of themselves. It's self-care. So I have them put a drop of Panaway and then a drop of peppermint. I tell them how peppermint helps it dive a little deeper. Sometimes we'll put Copaiba on top, but make sure if you're using somebody as an example, you check in with them at the end of class. How are you feeling? Because so often we forget that part because we get distracted. And so very often that's what I do. And I have a lot of empty bottles that I pass around. So I pass around empty bottles of thieves and frankincense so that the smell is still there and they could all smell them. And sometimes for some classes, I'll put a drop of something on a cotton ball in a plastic baggie and they could pass around the plastic baggie. And then so I let somebody keep it and put it in their car vent for the way home or something. So there's just lots of options for giving people an experience without using all your oils if you're brand new and all you have is your starter kit.
And I would also say that, think about too, how you're going to set everyone up. Remember, how you share is how someone else is going to look at it's the right way to share. So if you set yourself up in the front of a room and you are a lecture style, people are going to assume that that's how you share. I think when you're hosting something in your home or in a smaller gathering, trying to make it as intimate as possible and that chance to pass things around if you can, or share that way, I think is really good. So you're going to have to figure out what is best for you, and it doesn't always work in every place you host a workshop. But I want you to think, if you are sharing from the heart, you probably want to make it a very comfortable setting, either around a table or chairs in a smaller circle or something like that, so that people understand that it's not about you standing up there and you lecturing at people. It's about sharing from the heart, us experiencing this together, and us talking about essential oils from a really friendly and down-to-earth perspective. There will be times when you will talk from a standing standpoint in a workshop or more of a lecture style, but that's not how you want the base of your of the people you're introducing to think that's how it's done. Because if that's what you do, they might feel they have to do the same thing, and that is not comfortable for everybody. Where many people are comfortable sitting around and enjoying and feeling that camaraderie.
Okay, so let's continue on about keeping this fun. Let's move into compliance, everybody. I didn't mean to make you spew, Susan. So, for anyone who has been around Young Living for a little while, you're probably familiar with that word compliance. And for some of us, it may still raise a little shiver up the spine. I just want you to understand that nothing changed about how we are allowed to speak about essential oils. It just filtered into our awareness that maybe we had been overstepping the line on what we were saying about our oils. And Young Living has really always been amazing about keeping us on track with how we can talk about oils. But there was a time when distributors had really kind of crossed the line, and some of them were stepping into diagnosing, treating, prescribing, curing. And you know what? We're not doctors. So I encourage you not to do that. And frankly, even doctors shouldn't be talking about oils that way, because our oils are not drugs. They help support the body when we use them internally. They soothe and comfort the body when we apply them topically. Yeah, this is lavender essential oil. And if you have any question at all, please know the very same oil is in both of these bottles. The separate labeling came up in response to requests from the FDA to Young Living to help the distributors with this. The FDA understands using something internally to support body systems. They understand using things topically and aromatically to soothe and comfort the skin, to help us feel grounded emotionally. But frankly, they don't get one product that can do all of that. The FDA is like, that does not compute. So Young Living made it super simple, well, for the FDA, right? So we have our Vitality line. These oils, we can talk about supporting body systems. And then our traditional colored label bottles, we can talk about soothing, comforting. And if you have any questions about what you can or can't say, look at the product guide. There's a little description for every product there. Go to the Young Living website. there is a document in member resources that says specifically on it product claims, and it will give you a little bit of information about almost every product. You can also go into a quick order or essential oil, essential rewards order, and click on the hyperlink about the product. It'll give you more information about it. So don't let this be a stumbling block for you. And then on that note, let me call up these guys, right? We have Cool Azul Pain Relief Cream. And on the back of it, it has drug facts. We have Thieves Cough Drops. And on the back, it has drug facts. So what's up with it? These are actually approved over-the-counter products that have specific drug claims that you can say. So you can say that Cool Azul Pain Relief Cream can help with arthritis pain. What you can't do is go in and say, oh, so our Cool Azul Pain Relief Cream has this essential oil in it, therefore this essential oil can be used for pain. So, you know, don't let yourself get tripped up by this. There is a great Facebook page. I'm going to share this with you, assuming I can still find it. No. Yeah, here it is. Called Young Living. I was talking with my cross-line ladies here. Let's let that go away for a second. Called Young Living Success. Oh, great. It's not going to move. Living Conduct Success. And there is a great 2-page document in there, which really is very clear. It says sharing is easy. And it's got bright, colorful graphics, which makes it a little more fun. So I encourage you to go out there, read that document, you know, lay out the products that you're going to have at your sharing event and go in and read about what you're allowed to say about those specific products. On the other hand, you should own this book, okay? There are resources that should be part of your library. And if you have a library in your home, there is absolutely nothing wrong with suggesting to a friend that they go and look something up for themselves. Sitting and reading to the book, from the book to people, from a reference book to people, because then you're moving into commercial speech, and as soon as you start talking, whether you're sharing oils or not, if you're a distributor and a member of Young Living, you need to be mindful of what comes out of your mouth. It has to be compliant. So this is a great opportunity for empowering people. Point them to the tools, encourage them to do their own research. So, you know, that's me, like rule following green. That's how I share. I share that way in public. I share that way in private. I really don't talk about oils differently in private with people. And just on a note on that, on social media, please be mindful that wherever you are, there is nothing private on social media. A private Facebook group is not private. So I encourage you to be mindful and continue to be compliant wherever you are. So I'm going to turn this off to over to Susan and Melissa and allow them to share some thoughts about compliance as well.
Yeah, you know, there is one thing I do want to say. I know that I have several members in Canada, and I want to put this out there to everybody that might be listening to this from Canada or might have someone on their team that's from Canada. So Canada has NHP status, Natural Health Product status. They can actually make claims about products, okay? They're actually a natural health product they have, and I know Deb's online, they actually have statements, and they can say things about lavender and peppermint that we could never, ever say. So if you are from Canada, know that this whole thing about compliancy is very different for you, and you need to look at the natural health products you have, and there's over 50 of them now, where you can make different claims. With Canada, the caveat, and we've had this recently come up, is that they can't post anything that's considered an NFR, not for resale. So they're not allowed to post about a product that isn't approved on the Canadian side. They might still be able to order it from the American side, but they cannot buy it on the Canadian side, so they therefore cannot post about it on social media. So know that Canada is a little different when we talk about compliant. And the other thing is that when we talk about social media and you talk about compliancy, if you are hosting a workshop and you've got a Facebook page up and you see a great article from Dr. Axe about the use of lemon oil, you do not want to share that on your Facebook page, because you are now responsible for everything Dr. Axe says about every product that he has. So be very mindful that you also don't want to share things that come from other docs, other people that might be talking about essential oils in a very different light than what we are compliantly allowed to share. So just keep that in mind. You're really better to use the Young Living approved graphics. Or, you know, I see a lot of people saying, oh, you know, stressful day, my getaway, and you see your diffuser and a couple of oils, right? I mean, those kind of things are great. But just be mindful of your sharing, even in the fun of saying, oh, we're going to talk about this on product on, you know, Saturday, look what so-and-so said. You're better off not to go there. Melissa?
And the same goes for Pinterest. There's a lot of non-compliant graphics on Pinterest. So you don't want to have a Pinterest page with your member number and non-compliant graphics and things like that. And if you're wondering where to get compliant graphics in the virtual office, there are plenty. So if you haven't explored back there, there's a lot. My rule of thumb for staying compliant is to stick the word support before a body system. Respiratory system, immune system, nervous system, muscular system, support. That's my rule of thumb. Super simple.
Yep. You know, and to kind of go back to, you know, when you're talking, let's, you know, now we've done our compliance thing, let's kind of go back to the fun of all this, right? So, because we do want to make this fun. Workshops are a lot of fun. But one of the things I'd say to you is that if you had a workshop at your girlfriend's house and she's invited 6 or 7 people that you don't necessarily know, a lot of people ask about when the right time is to get their contact information so that you can follow up with them yourself. Because your girlfriend might not know everybody that's coming to this particular event, correct? I would tell you that I would never pass my contact information out at the beginning of a seminar. I would never say when I first set up, oh, and here, you know, here's the, you know, put your name and address down, or your name and your email address so I can get in touch with you when I first started a seminar. I would always do that 3/4 to almost the end in, because you've not created and established a rapport with these people. They're going to be like, I don't want this girl contacting me, ooh, you know, and you'll get back this piece of paper that has nothing on it, right? Where if you wait and then you go in the middle, oh, wait, you know, I do want to do a giveaway, or I love to follow up, or if you'd like more information here, you know, here's a piece of paper, pass it around. People are much more inclined, once they've gotten to know you and they feel more comfortable with you, to give you their contact information. Because it is really important that you do follow up. There are people that will jump on board right away, but there are also people who need to think about it, want to go read about it, you know, that may be more green personality, or you just didn't have enough time to get to everyone when someone had to leave. You now can follow up with them. So it's another good thing to know when hosting a successful workshop, is that you want to make sure that way you can send each one of them a little note or an email or something thanking them for coming and asking them if they have any more questions.
On my sheet that I send around 3/4 of the way through, I have, you know, check here if you want to be on my newsletter, check here if you want a starter kit, check here if you are interested in the business opportunity, check here if you want to host a home party, and I'd like more information on it in blank. And that way I don't have to tell them there's a business opportunity. I don't have to tell them, you know, hey, do you want to host a home party? It's all right there. They know it. They could check it off if they want. And that's another gentle way that I can introduce a lot of these options. And I'll say, so I'm going to pass this around. If you want more information, check what you're interested in. And like, if you're not interested in anything, just no pressure. Just pass it to the next person. Like, and so there really is no pressure in that way. I love using it like that. So, yeah.
All right, Tricia.
Yeah, and I actually, I love the sheet that's in the book, Essential Sharing, that little sheet for collecting people's contact information. And remember, that kind of information is actually important for your business. You want to have a record when you have an event. That's part of your tax records. From your green, you're going to get that kind of information. So you do want to hold on to that. But to be honest, I actually use separate little 1/4 page size forms. That way nobody has to feel uncomfortable about other people seeing their email address or something like that. And I just remind people about halfway, 3/4 of the way through to complete their form, because we're going to have a little raffle. I love to give away something small. I usually give away a hand purifier or a lip balm, some kind of product that people use anyway, and then they can experience our version of it. So I think those are our thoughts for you guys tonight on some suggestions on do's and don'ts for you get together, some information on compliance, and we're going to open this up to your questions. We'd like to hear more about your successes, and we're here to help answer questions you may have about something you've read or an experience you're having. So let's go ahead and open this up to you guys. I'm going to unmute everybody. There we go.
Bathroom and trash?
Oh, maybe I'll mute everybody. If you have a question, if you do have a question, though, go ahead and unmute yourself to ask that question.
I don't have a question necessarily, but I did want to comment about the sharing or the inviting. I think for me, it's easier to not say, hey, are you still coming? But kind of your approach, Trisha, like, can't wait to see you on Thursday. More of a statement, I think, because I'm scared they'll say, oh, shoot, I forgot, if I ask them. So if I kind of like tell them, I don't know, I just feel more successful with that approach.
I like that, Shayla. And I think that actually dovetails really beautifully with what Melissa said. It's the reminder to ourselves that we have something of value to people. Instead of coming to them with our hand out like a beggar, come to them with a gift that we're giving them. And so, yeah, reminding them that we're looking forward to seeing them and expecting them to be there.
If anyone's ever interested in learning more about that kind of language, I love Big Al. I know there's a lot of people out there, but he's a hoot. So you could YouTube Big Al, and he's great. But yeah, very good.
I found something on Young Living's site, which I thought was really neat for sharing your oils, either during a class or if you have a vendor booth. This is the Aroma Carousel. It's tiny. I mean, it's very small, as you can see by my hand. This is what it is. They're tiny little bottles that sit on here, and it came with labels, so you can put, my light is not very good here. You can put, now I can't find myself. You can put the little cap labels right on here, and you can have the oils that are in the kit. It holds, you get 10 little bottles on here. They have the Young Living logo on the top, and they're perfect. And they do have the hole in the top, not the diffuser part, with the stem in it, but it has just the little hole in the top, so you can let people try them on. And if they touch it, it doesn't matter because it's not your full bottle. It's just a little tiny sample bottle. I actually got this when they were on sale 2 weeks ago and found out that they are discontinuing them. They do still have them in stock, but it spins. So it's great for a display, and it's under $10 in our book. Now, they're not in the new catalog in the 2018 because they're discontinued, but you can still get them. I just ordered a second one because I want to have my kit oils in one for people to test, and then I'll have other oils that I personally love that I think people would like to try, so that you can get them away from just the kit and get them to experience other oils and want to buy something different besides. I think that's a fantastic way for sharing, and it also comes with 2 pipettes that you can, move your oils over without dripping them. But if you don't have something like that, or you're not able to get it because it is being discontinued, I found these little tins. They're just tiny little tins from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 of them for $1, and I put a cotton ball in here, and I have a little label on top, and people can just pick them up. It still smells, and it's from like a month ago, and I can still smell the lavender in it, and it's wonderful. And they have a magnet on the back, so they all just stack right up and stick together. It's perfect. And your little share cards, I would put them on the table by them so people could read about them right where it sits. and they're not disturbing your bottles, or, if you have filled, a full kit rather than empties, you can use something like that, and you don't have to worry about contamination of the bottles.
Nice.
Cool. Thanks, Alana. And, just a reminder, everybody, I'm sure you've seen the emails. There are some changes coming to the Premium Starter Kit. Don't let that throw you out of whack. I mean, I remember when I got started, it was the Essential 7 kit. There will be changes to the Premium Starter Kit over time. Don't let it mess up your mojo. And that's actually one thing I really love about Essential Sharing, is that the idea is to share the lifestyle. So you're going to be sharing product, have 1 or 2 products from each of the different product lines so that people can experience it. And this actually goes back to something that Lisa was talking about at the beginning. You may find that your pet lovers are drawn in because of the products in our Animal Sense collection. If you teach a class that's only about that, they may not realize that there's something there for their little granddaughter that's on the way, that we have the seedlings line. So I encourage you, even if you have a topic-specific class, consider having a moment when you touch on the whole lifestyle, so that even if you're talking about your 20% of your time, the 20%, the 1 class a month maybe, that's on a specific topic, consider including just a few moments about lifestyle so that you can reach out to people that may not be specifically tuned into just that topic.
Is it raffle time?
I think it is. I hope you all had a chance to participate in the raffle. We looked out there today and it was a little like, is anybody there?
It was, but maybe we need to give it a little bit more attention. But
yeah,
I loved yay!
Shayla Johnson, yay! And Shayla's on with us tonight. Congratulations, Shayla.
Right.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Are you the one that had the little photo from FaceTime?
Yeah.
So how did it go? I think you said it was awkward.
It was more awkward, I think, because it was someone I knew rather than someone I was truly inviting.
Uh-huh.
I think had it been a real invite, it probably wouldn't have been as awkward because it would have been more realistic. But we both got a kick out of it. We both laughed a little bit.
What kind of feedback did you get? Anything helpful? Like, did you feel more confident?
I mean, I have a job now where I have to do role play, so even though it's awkward, I can do it. So, like I said, it went fine, but I think more realistic had it been the real thing.
Good. Awesome. Yay.
Great.
And when is your event? Or have you had events yet? Or is this going to be your first?
I've had a few small, one-on-ones. Last month, I had one actually today.
Yay.
And then I have a group event planned for the 22nd of March.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
Good for you, Shayla. Good for you. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We'll see you out there on the Facebook group. Take a look. I'm sure on Wednesday we will have another action giveaway. We'll have some resources, some takeaways, and we'll get that homework posted so that you can keep moving forward. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight.
Bye.
Bye.